with Mindful Movement, Mindful Living, and I am here today with a fun and mindful recipe. Before we get started, if mindful eating and living and moving are something that you are interested in or passionate about, please take a second now and give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe and notification buttons, and that will ensure that you don't miss a video and we can really continue encouraging and sort of moving along together on this wellness journey of mindful living. So let's get started. So this recipe is actually, it's a cake recipe today, which is not my normal type of recipe, but as I'm filming this, it is the week before Mother's Day, and also it was just my birthday. So I thought it would be a fun time to share my favorite cake. So this is a vegan mocha bundt cake, and it is definitely my signature cake. I don't do a ton of sweets. I don't bake a ton of sweets, but if I am baking sweets, it's probably this recipe. So I love it. I have been making this probably for maybe 20 years. It's one of the first recipes that I really just started to, that I loved. So I just started making that. So chances are, if I have baked a cake for you in the last 2 decades, it was probably a variation of this. I've tweaked it a little bit over the years, but probably something like this. This is a vegan cake, so there are no animal ingredients in this cake. Also, something that's really nice about it is that it is made from pantry staples. So we don't need to run off to the store and get all sorts of fresh ingredients for this. All of these ingredients are likely something you just already have in your home. So it's really nice for that as well. So I already started a little bit I got a head start. I put 3 cups of flour and 1 3/4 cups of evaporated cane juice in this bowl. You could also use white sugar or whatever type of sweetener you prefer in this, of course. So that is already in here. So to this, I'm going to add 2/3 of a cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. So in it goes. It'll be nice and chocolatey. And also 2 teaspoons, here it is, of baking soda. So that's going in. And then 1 teaspoon of salt. In it goes. And from here, I'm just gonna take my whisk and I'm just gonna whisk it up. Not too fast, because you don't want a big cloud of cocoa and flour and sugar, but just sort of gently whisk this. It's kind of the same idea of sifting. So just combine it all. And you don't want to be too enthusiastic here, or you'll just have a big cocoa cloud in your kitchen. So just gentle. And just give it a nice little whisk. Everything's combined and a little fluffier. So that looks good. So from here, now the whisk is done now. So the whisk can go to the side, and now, so those are all the dry ingredients. So now from there, I'm just going to take in this bowl here, I have 2 cups of cooled coffee. So you can also use water for this. So if you don't have coffee in your home, don't worry about it. You can also just use water. See, I told you, you will not have to go to the store to make this cake. So I'm just gonna put this in, try not to spill it. And just make sure it's cooled before you put it in. And that's the mocha part. So if you prefer chocolate, more of a chocolatey taste versus mocha, again, just use water and it will be just a chocolate vegan bundt cake. So that also works well too. And I make that variation as well. Sometimes. So in goes that, and then to that I'm also adding, so I'm adding vanilla. So in goes the vanilla. So this is 4 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And that's it. So now, so I have these, I'm just gonna give it a little stir. And then I'm gonna pour this in. You could also make it all directly in this bowl. I just sometimes feel like it gets a little messy when I do it like that. So you could use one bowl and just put it right in. It doesn't have to be done separately. So then I'm just gonna give this a nice little stir. I'm using a clear bowl so you can see everything, but I do usually use a little bit of a bigger bowl so I don't have to be so careful. about spilling. There we go. So just mixing it really until it's combined. And this is such a nice, it's so easy. I mean, we're almost done already. I love baking from scratch because it really is just more mindful. I think that you just appreciate what's in it, even if it's something, you know, it doesn't have to be, this is certainly not a healthy recipe, but it is mindful. It doesn't have to be, you know, kale to be mindful. This is certainly mindful because I'm making it from scratch. I am aware of all the ingredients in it. And really, as I'm eating it, I feel like I'm just always more appreciative because I know the work that went into it. I know the quality of the ingredients that are in it. And I think I take more time and just use my senses more when I'm eating it even, because I'm thinking about just trying to be really aware of how did it come out? You know, how did I do? Is there something I should do different next time? That sort of thing. So I think I do just pause more and really use my senses when I'm eating it as well. So it is really nice. And you don't overindulge because you know it took a lot of work and you don't have to make another one. so it's a good way. You sort of naturally just take a small portion, eat it mindfully, and you're good. So here you go. So there it is. So this is nice and combined now. So now I'm going to take applesauce. So unsweetened applesauce, just to be clear, here. And there you go. So, and in it goes. This is 1 cup of applesauce. Now there's actually something else coming up too. The next ingredient also has apple in it. It's apple cider vinegar is the last, the pièce de résistance is apple cider vinegar. But even though I just mixed in unsweetened applesauce and I'm about to put apple cider vinegar, I promise you this cake will have no apple flavor. So if you are not interested in apple cake, don't worry. This will only taste like mocha. Or if you choose to make this recipe without the coffee and instead you swap it for water, it will taste only like chocolate. I promise there'll be no apple flavor. So here we go. This is my favorite part. This is my favorite part. When my children make this with me, they love it too. So now the last thing that we'll do is add the apple cider vinegar. This is 4 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And now this is going to go in and you're just gonna pour it in. It's like a little chemistry here. So you pour it in and it's going to make the batter change to like a lighter shade. It'll kind of bubble up a little bit too. So you're just gonna swirl that in, just mix it up in the batter. I don't know if you can probably can't see it here, but if you see it, I'll give you a little kind of swirls and you can see like the light color sort of swirling through. It's really fun. So that's nice. It's a nice alternative to needing eggs, you know, when you're in the recipe, which is nice. No need to run to the store. And if you're avoiding animal products, again, this is perfect. And there we have it. That was so simple. It didn't take a long time. It didn't take a lot of ingredients or, you know, any sort of a fancy kitchen equipment. So it's such a nice one. It's one of my favorites for all those reasons. And again, it's just so nice to be mindful and make things from scratch sometimes. And you don't need a lot of time for this. It's not a daunting recipe, you know, that requires really any kitchen skills, again, or any special equipment. But it's just so nice to be able to appreciate the quality of the ingredients and the process it took to make it. And so it's just a really nice way to be mindful and feel good about what you're eating. And then that's it. So this is all done. All I'm gonna do is take my bundt pan and pour the batter in. There we go. I pre-greased this pan, by the way, because you definitely want to make sure you can get it out at the end. And in a minute, my children will be coming in here because one of the best things about vegan baking is that you can eat the batter because there's no raw egg in it. And now that I have it ready to go in the pan, I'm just going to put this in the oven and bake it at 375 degrees for about 40 or 45 minutes. And just keep an eye on it because ovens may vary a little bit, and then I'll be ready to go. I generally just dust this with a little confectioner sugar on top. You could certainly frost it or make an icing, but I find just a little sprinkle of confectioner sugar. Again, it's nice and simple and easy and mindful. So here's wishing you lots of mindful eating and living. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.